As the only natural doorways into the Earth's interior, caves have fascinated mankind for thousands of years. Caves were sometimes used by primitive man for shelter, and were also places of supernatural significance. Early civilizations used caves for burial and storage. And since that time, caves have been explored for their mining potential, as well as to increase knowledge about the Earth. Throughout history, the mysteries of caves have attracted those few explorers willing to risk the dangers found within the depths of the Earth. Many would ask why some choose cave exploration instead of the variety of other wilderness sports. What then is the lure of the underground?
It's only about a quarter mile to the cave from here. Check the map.
Caves are one of the last frontiers on Earth that remain partly unexplored. While some caves are widely known, most are remote and difficult to find. Some of us have spent days looking for a cave that was supposed to be easily located.
Limestone caves are found throughout the world, but only in a limited number. They offer greater interest than other types of caves, since they often contain fragile rock formations of great beauty. And though their tortuous passages can be highly dangerous, they present the skilled climber with an unusual challenge.
Over here, I found it!
In the California Sierra, 4 skilled cavers have reached the entrance of a remote limestone cave. After an early morning hike through a ridgetop forest, the challenge of the unknown depths lies before them.
You have to have mastered your equipment to the extent that you can operate it by feel, by touch, rather than by seeing it. Because if your light does go out and you're by yourself, and you're going to have to refuel your lamp or correct the problem, whatever it is. And so you have to know where your repair kit for the lamp is in your pack. You have to know where your flashlight is. You have to know where your third backup source of light, your candle, is. It's like nothing else in terms of the degree of dependence that you have on your equipment, especially your light. Light is all important.
Caving requires a great deal of determination and then, of course, the cooperation between the different members of the caving party.
Final preparations at a cave entrance are exciting, no matter how many times you've done it. And no matter how skilled or well prepared you are, each piece of equipment still has to be carefully checked. It isn't fear, though it's almost impossible not to feel a little nervous at the edge of a deep pit. It's just that you realize that caving is serious business. It's a lot of fun, but it's serious.
Now, it has a large entrance pit, and the rocks around it prevent you from seeing how deep it is. You can tell that it is deep, and even though it is about 20 feet across at the mouth, you can't lean over far enough to see how deep it is. So when you take off on the rope and you're rappelling down, you work your way down a rock face to the actual lip of the entrance. You get past the lip and suddenly the walls drop away and you're hanging freely in this vast space. And in the few moments before your eyes become accustomed to the gloominess, you don't know how big it is.
The first thing you experience in a cave is a focusing of your awareness as you walk away from the entrance and the sunlight is replaced by the narrow beam of your headlamp. Without the sun, there's no way to sense the passage of time, and you become totally focused on a smaller reality containing only you and the people you're with. The cave before you presents the unknown, a mystery, a challenge that's both physical and mental.
An immense chamber with numerous side passages appeared to the small expedition as an alien landscape. The massive boulders and wet, slippery rocks made their every move deliberate and cautious. Gigantic shapes loomed in the darkness that was barely penetrated by their headlamps. The unusual rock formations found in caves are created over thousands of years by the gradual growth of crystals deposited by dripping water. Rainfall and surface water filter through the soil and rock and reach the cave charged with dissolved minerals. The water flows across cave ceilings and walls, contributing its minerals to the growing formations and enlarging passages by dissolving limestone. While many people enjoy spelunking for its physical challenge, most find their reward in discovering these jewel-like, fantastic sculptures hidden in the eternal darkness.
A caver's coveralls have a very limited lifetime. One by one, all the pockets get ripped off, the rear end wears through, and finally the sleeves and knees are torn to shreds. The well-dressed caver usually looks like a disaster victim.
Caving can be full of surprises. A tiny side passage off a corridor could actually lead to much larger rooms, and even to an unexplored cave. Every possibility should be checked out before deciding that a lead doesn't go.
I'm chimneying or traversing on a ledge, I don't think much of the depth of the crevice or what would happen if I fell. I think that's because all my energy is concentrated on what I'm doing, groping for handholds, placing my feet, and considering my next move.
When I'm going through a chimney, there are two basic positions I use. One is kind of straddling it with one foot on each side, and another one is a position with my back against one wall and my hands and feet against the other. And in many cases, this position has to be changed back and forth to get through.
After several hours of difficult caving, the group decided to stop for a brief rest. Cave exploration is a cold, strenuous activity which requires frequent snacks to maintain energy. The kinds of foods carried on a caving expedition must be chosen carefully, since sandwiches and soft foods become flattened, and any dry or brittle foods are quickly reduced to crumbs as the cavers' packs are dragged through tight passages. In addition to the need for food, the short break also provides an opportunity for the cave explorers to check their lights. Electric helmet lamps and flashlights will sometimes require fresh batteries, and carbide lamps must be refueled with water and fresh carbide. The use of carbide lamps presents expeditions with a special problem. Used carbide is a poisonous, smelly powder, which should never be left in a cave, since it can contaminate underground water supplies, and its unsightly appearance can spoil the beauty of the cave. Spent carbide and other expedition litter must always be carried out of the cave. While it is often the impulse of explorers to leave a record of their visit to a cave, the walls and formations are never the proper place to write names. Regional spelunking clubs, under the guidance of the National Speleological Society, place registers in often visited caves. The register provides cavers an appropriate place to record names, dates, and thoughts about their visit. Collection of cave formations and outright vandalism can destroy the crystalline beauty that took nature thousands of years to create. State laws prohibit such vandalism, but enforcement is difficult because the use of caves is increasing at the same drastic rate which has threatened the quality of many of the Earth's wild places. Thus, the preservation of the underground wilderness must remain the responsibility of each caver. Caves and their formations are a non-renewable resource. Once destroyed, they can never be replaced.
You're continually confronted with situations where you have to decide, how am I going to do this? Which way will work the best? The excitement of going caving is having these little challenges presented to you.
A crawlway from one direction, it can be a totally different crawlway from another direction. If you have to go feet first one way, it's impossible to go feet first coming back. From different directions, it can be two different challenges.
In some tight crawlways, you squeeze along on your stomach with the ceiling scraping your back, pushing your pack in front of you. When you stop, all you can hear is your own breathing in the confined space. and dare for just a moment, you think, my God, there's 500 feet of rock between me and sunlight. People who have never been in a cave sometimes wonder how we avoid becoming lost. It's not really difficult and doesn't require a large ball of string. Actually, you construct a mental map as you go through the cave based on obvious landmarks. You train yourself to notice unusual rocks or formations.
Working their way deeper, they found that the lead ended at the edge of a deep crevice with smooth, wet walls and no floor in sight. They decided to use their last rope in an attempt to reach the bottom. A wide passage at the bottom of the pit led to an area of profound beauty and diversity not seen elsewhere in the cave. The cavers became spellbound with the magnificent formations before them. A fascinating crystalline world created over the eons by the slow, persistent action of water.
The formations are amazing. Discovering an unusual formation can be an incredible experience. We've seen shimmering curtains of crystal, brightly colored stalactites, and cascading flowstone like a frozen waterfall. In a single cave, formations can range in size from tiny helictites, so delicate that light will shine through them, to massive stalagmites 60 feet tall. You have more than a feeling of enjoyment, it's a feeling of awe. That kind of beauty just has to be preserved.
just rest for a while.
After the group had been in the cave nearly 10 hours, they realized that they must soon decide when to turn back. They knew the climb to the entrance would require several hours, and that they would have to carefully conserve their remaining energy, carbide, and water. The decision to return is important on any expedition, because the endurance of each caver varies, and the excitement of exploration can lead them further than they had intended to go. Constant communication and evaluation at regular intervals are necessary to assure a safe return to the surface.
About a third of any caving expedition consists of waiting, especially in a vertical cave. You have to wait for the others to move through a tight crawl or up a rope. So you spend a lot of time wedged in between wet rocks, and that's when it's critical that you conserve your energy.
I was just tired and cold and wet, and felt that we were just down miles below the surface, even though it wasn't more than a couple hundred feet. And I thought about those 2 ropes that I'd have to climb. And the other people that we were with weren't tired at all. Some of them felt there's more cave to be explored, some more beautiful formations to be seen, and we should be going to see those. It's not time to get out. But I felt that I'm tired, I've got to get out of here, or I'm not going to make it out.
Each step seems harder than the last as you let your energy out in measured amounts. It's the most exhausting part of the entire caving trip.
most enjoyable parts of caving is returning to the outside world. Whether it's day or night, at least the air is moving and the birds are singing. It's not the dark stillness of the deep underground.
It's the total experience. You're assaulted by the smells and the general feel of the outside. And though you may be really tired, there is still a great feeling of satisfaction when the last of the group gets out safely and you realize you've met the challenge.
Every time I come out of a cave, I have such good feelings for the people that I've been caving with. The major reason is the trust that we've invested in each other.
After returning to the sunlight, the cavers take time to reflect on their journey through the strange land of endless night. The contrast between the cave's cold darkness and the colorful afternoon warmth of the mountainside has heightened their awareness of nature's infinite variety. They now experience the outside world with a renewed appreciation of its life and beauty. They have also shared a unique adventure, gaining greater understanding of both the earth and themselves, while exploring the world within.